We got our own thing.
Get up and do my thing.
We got our own thing.
Get up and do my thing.
We got our own thing. We got our own thing. We got our own thing. We got our own thing. We got our own thing. We got our own
Everybody, shake your body. We don't ill, we chill at a party, move the groove that's sensual, three-dimensional, unquestionable. The love is professional. Got a category, my own, and I'm the president. Don't be alarmed, but I'm sewing up the resident with my particular style, particular extracurricular, smoother and trickier. Throwing the lyrics like a throwable backjack. You're a chicken me nuts.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Our Own Thing podcast. The platform urban fiction authors and readers call home. Quarterbacking this thing, of course, it's your player partner, Said Green. And I'm coming to you live and direct from the Gump Town, baby. Montgomery, Alabama. And before we get into today's episode, I like to wish everybody a happy holidays and a safe new year. And also, I still need the support of my urban fiction community. You know what I mean? You know my spiel is totally free. Won't cost you one dime. You understand me? So y'all take a few seconds now, man, and hit that like, share, comment, and subscribe button for your partner. Thanks in advance, and I appreciate you. But let's get into today's episode, though. Who do we have coming through this week? Today we have an author out of Little Rock, Arkansas. She's a mother, a college grad, self-published author, and we have her here today to discuss her latest book, Fractured, a quartet of psychological reckonings. So without further ado, y'all give it up for OLIVIA RENEE WALLACE. What's happening with you, Queen? Thanks for coming through to fuck with me.
My pleasure. Let's do this.
Okay. Well, I don't know how familiar you are with the show, but, I do let all my guests know why this platform was created, and that was to bring some shine to the art form and its authors. You know what I mean? Providing them a relaxed environment, safe environment where they can come through. You can let your hair down and politic with your folks and let them know what you got going on, and you know what to be looking for in the future. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you though. The people, they want to hear from you. So introduce yourself to the viewers. Let them know your story and what you plan to accomplish in this industry.
I am Olivia Renee Wallace. Most folks just call me Renee. And I have been writing since I was in elementary school. I did start taking it seriously about 12, 13 years ago. I was a part of a women's writer group, and I was writing episodes. But the group kind of dispersed and broke apart. So people started hitting me up, asking me when I was unfinished. So I realized that I could probably do something with this and take it from being a hobby to something I can take more seriously. So I wrote my first novel, She Say, a modern love story. That was about 13 years ago, and I've been writing ever since, seriously.
Okay. Well, Olivia, this is the segment of the show where, we do ask a series of questions where your readers and the viewers, they can get an in-depth look at the mind of the authors who create these novels that we love so much, you feel me?
All right.
This question number one. What are your thoughts on the current state of the publishing industry?
I hate to compare it to school or high school, but to a degree, you have the cool kids. I mean, it is what it is. You have the cool kids, you have those that are really popular, and they are successful because they are popular.
Right.
And then you have the others who put in work. That's not to take away from anybody, but there are those who put in work and do these things that aren't as popular, but just as good. So it's really what you make of it, the industry. I mean, it has its ups and downs. It has its heroes and villains.
Mm-hmm.
And both sets are loved by different groups of people.
Right.
So as far as how I deal with the industry, I just take it in stride. I observe a lot. I interact, but I also know who to stay away from.
Right.
I also know who to stay away from. So it's like with any industry, any job, any workplace. You got your good and your bad. It's just how you navigate through it yourself.
Word. I like that answer. That's a decent answer. How did writing your first book change your writing process?
With writing my very first book, it was just a matter of actually getting it done and not just talking about it. So my first book, it took me a couple years to write because, like I said, I started off with the women's group, just writing episodes, like a chapter at a time. But once I got that first book complete, that's when it really hit me. You know, I can do this. So it gave me more confidence in comparison to writing a chapter at a time and waiting for feedback. And so it altered my motivation, and it just simply showed me that I can do it, and I follow that.
Okay. So in actuality, by the group breaking up, actually it helped you grow then.
It actually did, because, you know, I was thinking, you know, I'm writing these little episodes and people are digging it, you know, the ladies are digging it. But the fact that when the group dispersed, people were still coming to me asking me about it. Right. So that tells me that somebody's entertained by what I write.
Right.
At least one or two people. And so that one or two has grown into many more.
Word up. Word. How did you come up with the title for your book?
For Fractured, Fractured is actually my 12th book. Yeah, I came up with Fractured because Snap was taken. You know, everybody automatically knows what Snap means. You know, everybody knows about the show Snap, and people kind of losing it. And so with these characters I have in this book, it's 4 stories about 4 different women, and it's where their realities, their life becomes fractured. So I actually prefer Fractured over Snap because these ladies, they don't necessarily snap. Well, not all of them. But it's like those little, it's like those little splinters in their life that kind of puts them in the positions that they are in these various stories. So yeah, it was because Snap was taken, but it's what it's supposed to be. Fractured is what it's supposed to be.
Okay, so Fractured is synonymous to Snap, I guess.
You know, it's a Snap is like, I think when somebody's just like, they hit that point and it's over. But with Fractured, it's almost like something that kind of builds.
Gradually,
like it's real small and then gradually gets bigger before that explosion. So I think that fits all of these ladies better.
I got you. What made you want to tell this particular story?
Really, I am, by trade, I would say that I am a romance author. I write romance, a lot of slow burn, stories with erotic tones to it. That's been my primary. But there's a reading group on Facebook called ICU. And on Fridays, they have this thing called Freestyle Fridays, where they give you a topic and you write a short story about it. So some of their topics are, you can write any way you want. But some of those topics I touched on, or some of those stories I touched on were kind of suspenseful. And me being romance, I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. So, you know, I needed to give it a try. And so I've written a couple of like suspenseful short stories or plot twist short stories. And I have author friends who do thriller and horror and those type of books. And they were like, you can do this. So I've had a couple of author friends that are like, you can do this. So I figured, you know, I would give it a try. And so far it's working out. Okay. And I am actually working on my 3rd suspense now. So it helps me broaden my horizons, not just stay in this box of romance.
That's basically what you want too, ain't it? To kind of, you know, spread it out a little bit. Yeah,
I know my lane, but I also know that if I need to, I can get a new lane. So now I consider my writing like a highway and not just one lane.
Word up.
Yeah, several ways to go.
Okay. What characters in your book are most similar to you and the people you know?
Ooh, I think to a degree there's a little bit of me in every character I write. Either it's something about me in them or something in them that pulls from me, if that makes sense. A little bit of crazy. No, I'm not just like wild and crazy. No, I'm not just like wild and crazy if you know me. Yeah. But those spots where you feel like, well, you know, if I would do this, it would be completely out of character for me, but having somebody else do it, it's kind of like getting away with murder. In this case, literally in these stories. So it's kind of like, what would I do if I could get away with it? Yeah. So a little bit of me in every character, or a little bit of a character is in me. It's just trying to figure out which is which.
All right, I got you. If you were to write a spinoff about a side character, which would you pick?
Okay. So I have 4 stories in Fractured, and there is a story called Nanny Knows Best, where a wife and her husband, Marcus Witherspoon and his wife Leah, they're having issues because she just had a baby, and she's not feeling 100% herself, and so they get this nanny. And the nanny turns out to be a little bit of trouble. So I ain't gonna give you all the details, but if I were to create a spinoff, it would definitely be about the husband Marcus, because he goes through some things. So it's one of those tales where it's not just, I'm not saying that the man is bad in the story, or it's his fault or anything like that. To a degree, Marcus, the husband, is kind of a victim in this story. So after everything that takes place in the story, like I said, I don't want to put any spoilers out there. I would love to see how Marcus is dealing with everything, because his life is completely uprooted and turned upside down. So if I were to write a spinoff story for any character, it would definitely be Marcus.
Might need to write that down on the list. That sound interesting already.
Oh yeah, Marcus go through it.
What is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene in the entire book would be the reckoning in my story, Into the Water. It's a story about a young lady who lives with her father. She's lost a sister. She's lost her mother. But to a degree, it's her father's fault. But she's been taking care of the home. She's been his support system and everything. But weird things start happening. So towards the end, there is a reckoning with her and her father. And that's one of my favorite parts of the book. Everything comes full circle. Once again, I can't give you spoilers because I love plot twists. So, but my favorite scene would be that reckoning with her and her father.
Okay. All right.
So remember the story, Into the Water.
Into the Water. What risks have you taken with your writing that have paid off?
This book.
This one?
Definitely this book. Because it's so different from what people are used to when it comes to my writing. Like I say, I'm a huge romantic. I'm big on happily ever after. I like drama, but I love those happily ever afters. And sometimes it's borderline Hallmark. Sometimes it's borderline Cinemax.
I got you.
But this one is completely different. I take a completely different route. I mean, you still have elements, little bits of romance, and there's love involved to a degree. But this book is completely on a different route. These are reckonings by 4 different women who, as we say, snap in this genre. So I believe one of the next things that I am working on is going to be a huge payoff. I've said that next year, 2026, is when more people will know my name, and I think it will be because of these books. I think it will bring more people in. Okay.
And putting yourself out there on these podcasts, you know what I mean? They help.
Yeah, I'm working on it, so I thank you. You're helping me get it out there. So thank you.
How many unpublished and half-finished books do you have?
Oh my God. I can't even give you the numbers. I can't, because constantly getting ideas, like constantly. In February, I have 3 coming out at once. It's a trilogy. It's just waiting to go into edit. I have 5 or 6 other books that are almost complete, and I have some that I've just started. So I'll be busy next year, because I'm gonna see how many I can put out next year. Okay. So yeah, tons. Because I have tons of ideas, and they do not stop coming.
So they don't stop, huh? Keep it that.
Not if you got an imagination. You can open at a supermarket or at a gas station. Next thing you know, you have a story, a foundation.
Already. Would anyone in your family disapprove of anything you've written?
So far, they haven't. I can't say what they will and what they won't. But my family has been hugely supportive. I even have an aunt who's a pastor who reads everything I write. Okay. So at this point, nobody to disapprove. I haven't even had any, major suggestions like, well, why don't you do this, outside of maybe my aunt, wondering if I'm going to write something, I guess, more Christian-like. Yeah. But I guess when I'm older and into that, right now I'm writing what's going on in my life now and, what we're dealing with now. So
Right.
No, very supportive. I'm very fortunate that my family is very supportive.
Okay. That's a beautiful thing, then.
It is. I'm fortunate. I consider myself very fortunate.
What author in your genre do you admire and why?
Oh, there's a list. Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Octavia Grant, Anna J, Kaylin Hunt, Ebony Evans, Navi Robbins, Blacktop. There are so many. That's just a piece of the list. There are some that I've worked with. There are some I look forward to working with, and they're all great. Some of them you may know, some of them you may not. So if you have an unfamiliar name that I mentioned to you, reach out to them too, because they are, in my mind, they're superstars.
Right.
They are superstars in this, because we have the popular names, but we have some really badass writers that need their names out there more. Like Kaylin Hunt and Octavia Grant, they have this 725 series, and they're actually working on making one of them a movie now.
Yeah. Okay.
So
actually, I've heard of both of those names though, Kaylin Hunt and Octavia Grant. I've seen some covers and different things about them. But yeah, that's great. You know the name of the movie that movie they finna come out with?
Well, the book is Highway 725, part of the 725 series, because they also have Flight 725, and they're going to do another one. Sorry, cat. But the name of the movie is going to be different. I want to say The Killing Game or something like that. Don't quote me on that, though. Okay. But she is doing, I guess, the pre-production part, getting everything together, and what is it, crowdfunding and things like that to get this off the floor. So everybody do your part. That's awesome. There's more. There's a lot more coming.
Right. We're looking forward to it. If you could invite any 3 people for dinner, who would you invite?
This one was a hard question for me, because there are tons of people out there. I can't think of a specific, just people who can help me move my work forward. Okay. Producers, authors, big names that have made it, like THANG, how did she make it work? Things like that. I'm looking for investors. I'm not just trying to eat baked chicken and rice with you. I mean, if I'm looking for you or you're looking for me, we're working together, I want it to be something productive, not just for me to say I sat with this person, so it may be somebody that's not popular on the forefront.
Right.
Those people in the background are the ones that help make these things happen. So I couldn't give you a specific name of somebody, but they would definitely have to be some movers and pushers, somebody who can help me grow.
Okay. Do you have any advice for aspiring authors?
Don't be afraid to try something different. That's my biggest thing. And don't try to be like anybody else. Remain yourself. Because there's a market for everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. If they can make tattoo baby hair, your book can sell. So I'm just saying anything is possible. Don't sleep on yourself, even when it seems horrible, like nothing's gonna happen. Because even though I've been doing this for almost 13 years, probably close to 13 years, I still have those days where I wonder if I'm good enough. And I am. Sometimes I have to just remind myself, I've written 12 books. I have self-published 12 books and been a part of several anthologies. So just give yourself time. You're not on anybody else's timeline. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because you're setting yourself up for failure when you do that. Just stay in your lane, but don't be afraid to open up another lane.
For sure. Okay, Olivia, this is the final question right here. What does literary success look like to you?
Getting it done. My first book made me a success. I might not have millions of page reads or millions of dollars, but I did what I set out to do. And I've done it 12 times over, and it's about to be 15 times over. So just getting it done, because there are people who sit and say all day long, every day, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and they're still waiting to do it. So for me, success, so I'm already a success. I'm just trying to become more successful.
Okay, I could dig that. Give your readers and the viewers a brief synopsis of Fractured, a quartet of psychological reckonings.
All right, I'm gonna pull the straight from the back of the book.
Okay.
All right. A mother questions the growing presence of the woman hired to help her and what help really looks like. A sister, still mourning a loss that never quite made sense, begins to unravel the truth hidden beneath years of silence. A wife wakes up each day with new questions, unsure whether she's losing her grip or finally seeing things clearly. A woman pacified by charm for far too long begins to uncover truths that were always there, though she chose to ignore them. Fractured, a quartet of psychological reckonings, is a collection of quiet breakdowns and slow burning clarity. These stories don't roar, they whisper. They explore the emotional violence that hides in plain sight behind wedding rings, baby monitors, bedroom doors, and friendly smiles. Each woman stands at the edge of her own mind. What she does next will define everything. Darkly intimate and deceptively soft, this collection delivers 4 unsettling portraits of women on the verge and the reckoning waiting in the quiet.
There it is. Y'all check out Olivia, man, because she definitely got something to say. Yo, we've come to the end of another episode of Our Own Thing, and I'd like to thank our guest, Olivia Renee Wallace, for coming through to chop it up with me. Yo, share your social media handles and where your book can be purchased for the ones who want to follow you or check out your work.
All right. You can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Renee Wallace, and I do a lot of my work and pushing through my personal page. There's also Renee Wallace Books, which is my secondary page on Facebook. On TikTok, you can find me under the Novelist Novelties. There, I post trailers about my books and different things of that nature. On Instagram, it's at ScorpionLady77, Scorpion with a K. My books you can find on Amazon. They're all on Amazon. You can get them in paperback and on Kindle. You can also get them directly through me. Okay. If you get them directly through me, you get the little goodies, you know, the bonuses, the stickers, and all kinds of goodies. And I also do book boxes. Okay. So you can find me through all of those avenues. You can also get my books on TikTok for now. That may be changing in 2026, but you can also order through TikTok in the TikTok shop.
Before we get out of here, let them know what you got coming up in the near future.
February 2026 will be the Brooklyn Teachers Trilogy. There are 3 different stories about 3 different teachers. One is going to be romance, one is a slow burn erotica, and one is a psychological suspense. All different teachers, all Black male teachers, because that's something we don't hear a lot about. So you'll get these personalities and you'll get these stories in February. And I have more coming. I have my first book about Black superheroes coming, young teenage superheroes coming in the summer. May come sooner, depends on how anxious I get. And I have a surprise collaboration that nobody will see coming. I didn't even see it coming until it happened. So stay tuned for all of that in 2026.
There you have it. Y'all be on the lookout for that, man. Till next time, let's build.